Hi guys, and I just found these growing on my lot, and it's a legume, and I did some research on them, and it actually has pea pods. And there's lots of little peas in it, so I wanted to see, I tried one and I said, oh, it tastes like a little pea. But then I looked it up and I found out they're called RattleBox legumes, RattleBox weed. And this is why. Each seed pod, when it dries, has like 20 seeds in it. And these aren't even completely dry yet, and you can hear them rattling. So let's see if I can get another one off. It's an invasive species, and I was reading up, and at one point people thought they were good to plant because they put nitrogen fixing bacteria into the soil, but then they found out that they're toxic to cows if they eat too many of them. So you can hear them rattling. And each seed pad, they said one plant can make up to 20,000 seeds. So we'll open one of these up and show you just how many seeds are in it. I don't want these spreading around. They say they're invasive, so. Here they are, little black beans, and I'm trying to do these with one hand. There, you can see them in there. There's a lot of them in there. And they're little black beans. Peas, actually, and it's a lot of them. So they said they were introduced from Asia years ago, and people actually planted them to encourage the soil to get better. And the easiest way to get rid of it is not let the plant develop far enough to have seeds. And you can just see, wow, it has a tough stem, like a tree almost. There, I got it. And you can see all of the pea pods on them. So this will be able to make thousands of plants. So we're going to get rid of it. Before it spreads seeds all over. You can hear them shaking. Little rattle boxes. So I got to be careful they don't open up. And we've got all kinds of other weeds growing that I really don't like. These weeds here are like little thistle weeds, and boy, are they a pain in the neck when they stick to your body, and they're just everywhere. And they really are tough to get rid of. I didn't have these, and all of a sudden they just appeared, and it's just a terrible weed. Every time I go in there, they have like these little thistles, and they just stick to you everywhere. And they spread the seeds around. And if you're not here for a while, look what happens. They get huge. They're about 7 feet high. And the easy way for me to get rid of them is I just cut them down in layers, and then when I get near the root, I have a tool to remove the root with, so I don't have to bend down too far. Because if you just go in there and start it, you'll have them just cover your body with them. And see, I started here, and I'm working my way little by little to get rid of them. And I forget the name of these, but I'll post the name of these also. It's another invasive plant that just spreads everywhere, and it'll stick. These little thistles will just stick to everything, and they're really a pain in the neck. Every time I walk in there, I have them on my socks, on my pants, on my shirt. If you just rub against these things, they're everywhere. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and we're gonna put these RattleBoxes. You see how big they can get, and it's an invasive species. They say the way you could tell if is by the size of it, and you can see how big this plant is. The native ones won't get this size, and it's also toxic to cattle and animals. So okay guys, I found out what it was, and it's called Caesar's weed, and it was imported here from Africa years ago, and it's considered a noxious plant now, and they grow up to 13 feet high, and they've got these little burrs on them, and they're really nasty. And it's related to cotton, so I guess at one time they were making rope out of it and stuff like that. And it's also called Congo jute. I guess you can make tea out of the leaves for antibacterial benefits. I don't think I'd want to. And it's also, I guess the roots can be eaten as a famine food in Africa. So when people were starving, you can pull out the roots and cook them. And as I understand it, they're not the greatest food to eat, but it's nutritious if you have nothing else to eat. So I know the roots are really hard to pull out when the plant gets big, so there you have it, Caesar's weed. And they say cows won't eat it, and they spread, the burrs stick to everything, and they just spread to the cows, and they just, look at this, you just throw it on my shirt and it sticks, see? And it's nasty, and I don't think it was here a few years ago, and look, it's just spreading everywhere. And I do my best to get rid of it, and it comes back. So as long as you keep cutting the lawn, it's not going to come here. But you can see it's trying to get started on a lawn too. See, all these are baby ones. And look at the roots on them. They're already deep roots. So it's a relative of cotton. It's not poisonous, but cows won't eat it. And I can't stand them. Caesar's weed, and it has some reference to Caesar because he had no hair on his head, and I guess these are supposed to be considered hairy buds, so it's like an insult to Caesar, because unlike Caesar, that's what I was reading. They have the hairy buds. So it's the opposite of Caesar. This is how his head would look if he had hair. And I'm trying to get it focused here, and it don't want to.